Welcome back. And one of the things since starting a YouTube channel that I've experienced that I never got to experience before is having people reach out to me from all over the world on chess.com. I would say Orly Chess, but I'm barely on there, wanting to talk or discuss or say, hey, I seen this and you covered my friend or, what have you. Some people want to play. That's often the case. I get those a lot on daily games, which is always really fun. And recently that happened, and I was reached out to from somebody at the other side of the planet who was rated. Now, I'm not going to talk about their identity in any way, shape, or form because, it was an upset, but they were rated 2150. And I just kind of told you, I spoiled, but we played a draw at first, and then I realized I said, "Hey, did you see the channel?" Because it was pretty random to get that, and whenever they want to play you, I can't think of the word for it right now. And then afterwards, he got his internet fixed. We had like I said, a very short draw, and then we played a game. And then this is going to be that game. And I will also say after this game, stick around or fast forward to it now if you're like under 1500 and want a really good instructive uh, uh, recap for a game. This is a game from my other account where I play on an over the board AI board, ChessUp board. So stick around for that. But all right, so here's our first game. Let's make sure that it is covered up. Yep, identity is covered. And let's get into it. So I got to play the Carl Khan against a 2150. I'm going to keep on getting scared that you can see their information, but we played like this, and we get kind of they're doing this to try and build up here, which they do already. And then already this pawn is hard to get back. Maybe I can try and get this or something. Um, I go here because I figure after I take this with the pen, this can actually bring a lot of tactics. It almost happened in the game before. I'm gonna put the analysis bar on. Let's see here. Engine lines are on. I want to see if I can get. No, it's hard. We'll deal with it for now. But anyways, I take here now, and they're like the way I see it is there's no tactics, and it seems if the computer pretty much agrees. I take here. That's my bishop. That's my bad bishop, and I put this knight back, which I do know is a best move. And we're playing like this. I mean, when you have to bring your knight back because of the way that your opponent has built up their position, you know that you're facing a good opponent. So obviously, I gotta make sure that I'm playing accurately. I go ahead and take here, and then my idea is to build up on this diagonal. And I'm thinking after this and this, I have a good chance of doing that. They build up here. I take back here. It said this whole idea was really bad for white. Uh, the opponent takes here, and I actually remember in the recap, or sorry, the game review that I was supposed to not guard this pawn, which is crazy. I think I was actually supposed to just take. No, I actually don't remember. Let's. I kind of wish I could get the. We're just gonna go here. Yeah, maybe we should have been doing this in the first place. The other game that I already reviewed, I am not going to need this. It's very fresh in mind. Unfortunately, I was not as prepared. Okay, so it says to go here. And the idea is that we can attack this pawn, but now I don't have to, get the queen out of the way. Because I can't take, and then take back with queen. I just have to have my queen out of the way for that. It seems weird that you would just let this pawn go, but also this pawn's probably just considered a goner by the engine. So I guess that kind of does make sense. So he goes here, and then I do elect to take this pawn. And we get an attack going here. I believe I just make the only correct escaping move. Now it didn't like this at all. It wanted me to stay active and to put a double attack on this pawn, which I guess actually just straight up wins that pawn, correct? Not quite yet after the rook or something, but it's really building up the pressure. So I go here, and now it's too late to do all that, because if I take right here, my back rank is my problem, because queen takes, rook takes, and I can't get out of it without losing my queen, in which case, if I'm not mistaken, I would just be down a rook. So a 2150 is going to see that. I go forward with this pawn, and it also really doesn't like this. I don't know why, this was so much better, to be honest, but I figured that trading the queens at this point would be really good. It says I'm just slightly better, but at this point, it really wanted me to get counterplay on the king side. That's just all I could really come up with. Why is this move so important, so immediately important, and like I can't just put my rook right here to block the pawn mobility? I probably need to have like somebody much higher rated than me explain this game, to be honest. Maybe I'll reach out to my opponent. So we go here. The whole idea is that we have to try and keep a space advantage. Like, I can't get him into my position like I start to let him do. Now I just have way too many weak things, and as you can see, the analysis bar is just crumbling. But I have I'm actually 35 seconds to 27 seconds. You can't see the opponent's time, so I'll tell you. Right here it's 34 to 23. Right here it's 31 to 19. Right here it's 27 to 15. Right here it's 14 to 26. Right here it's 12 to 22. Right here it's 10 to 17. And we're kind of like staying in it. Right here it's 4 seconds to 9 seconds, and he runs out of time. So really cool. Sorry that was kind of all over the place. The next recap is going to be a lot better of this next game. But it was really cool to eke out a win against a 2150. Like, a win's a win. Obviously, like, I have a lot to learn from this game. In fact, I really do think I want to take this to somebody higher rated so they can explain to me all the nuances, because clearly I was playing somebody that I think is outclassed me. So, excuse me. And I was like probably 2 moves from 8. Okay, actually not. That's crazy. But anyways, let's get into the next game. Let's check out what it looks like here. It doesn't matter that I cover up their name, but I'm not going to take the thing off. I just can do this otherwise. All right, so we do e4, e5. I play the Italian. And whenever, okay, so once again, here's the instructive game. Whenever they go h6 or e6, I actually learned this from one of those instructive chess.com videos. That I've learned a lot of things from those videos, like just random things that stick. So there's a little clue or a little hint, something you can do if you want to get better. Like, I could have plugged this, position into the engine, and like I would have seen one of these, but it said if they play h6 or d6, that it is well met with d4. I don't know why I'm trying to move it. So I go d4. It's aggressive. I think actually it's even better to go like c3 and then you gambit and then have all this activity. But the way I see it is if you get this position, like, you're doing good. So I castle. And yeah, this I literally just played this a few hours ago. I go here. That was actually inaccurate. Like, I did not consider. I just for some reason didn't think this move was a move. Didn't see the board right. But we build up into the position like this. I'm now, and at this point, my 1340 rated opponent does what a 1340 would not be unexpected to do and kind of miscalculates and loses a pawn. You're thinking, oh, well, you're 1800. Like, of course you're going to win. But, like, over the board is much different for me. I think after I do it more, it's not going to be a handicap as much. But it definitely is now. So they go here. I got to think about this. I did think for a good amount of time on this, I believe. And I felt this was probably too simple, maybe an easy way out. But I ended up doing it because I didn't really see anything better. And I'm up a pawn. So I go here. I elected to go here. I know I can come here, but I was just kind of thinking I would save that for later. I do it now. We build up the pawn, and then I actually, more or less blundered that this is a fork. So that kind of sucked. But then I went here, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this guards this pawn, and also skewers the rooks. So, they can just double up, and I'm sure they will. That's what they do. And at this point, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this pawn. Well, okay, this is where it gets crazy. I can take that pawn. And initially in the game, I was like, no, wait a second. After like 1 or 2 seconds of thought, I was like, no, there's back rake checkmate, because if I take the pawn, they take my rook with queen, and after I take, it's back rank checkmate. Okay, checkmate. But, and I seen this after the game, and I was like, okay, well, I can just take this pawn earlier. That's why they're saying that because the best move was indeed to take this pawn. The reason why is because after after this, which they do in fact do, they can take this pawn, but this is the best move. You take the other pawn with check, and the key factor is that you check the king until the point to where you can align on the diagonal with your rook. They go here or something, and then you go here and take the queen, and when they check you, you go here with the queen. So that, like, if they do this, it's just you being up 2 pawns. Like, they could probably do this. It doesn't really matter. Like, you could probably just do this, and then if you trade, you get to their pawns and you're like faster or whatever. Or, if they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to let that happen, you do this, and then they want to get under here like this, and you couldn't do that because it would be back rank again. I don't know. Point being is you're up 2 pawns. There's no reason to go further into that. But, so let's go back into the game. I want analysis to be off. Can I, like, do I have to do this to make it? Yeah, I don't know. I need to figure that out. But okay, so I go here and we get into this position. And instead of taking the pawn like I could have, potentially, I go here. And back here. So that was the first instructive moment of the game. Okay, now, I did see this coming. They hung their rook, and it was kind of like something that I calculated for. Not that it was, I forced it, but like I was like, okay, I'm fine if they attack my queen with the rook because they hang the rook. Now, after they move their king here, I have to be, yeah, it was their move. So I have to be very, in my opinion, precise here. I haven't actually looked all the way through this, but I feel like they could have forced a repetition. So let's say I go. Actually, I feel like this would have been completely fine as well. The idea here is that you have to make sure that after, and I went here, you have to make sure that after rook attacks on the h file, that there is no check here, here, or here. The way this one works, which I think I'm just so far up in material that this is actually not as spectacular as I was maybe making it out to be. But if they decide to do something like this, you have a game-ending move, and I think they just resigned pretty much right after this, which is check, force queen trade. So they got to take, and then they just resign because you have two rooks, and it took my screen away. But yeah, so we're gonna leave that at that. Actually, let me just go to the ending position so you can look at that since the computer was being rude. This is where we ended. It is completely winning. This does look kind of scary, but like just two rooks. If it was like a bishop and a knight, this would be horrifying. Against like you know bishop and a knight against rook. Yeah, I mean technically that's not a good deal with this going on, but the two rooks is just always going to take care of this. But so yeah, um, thanks a lot for checking out the games. One I got kind of lucky on, and the other one I was particularly proud of, and felt like it had a lot of instructive properties to offer. So thanks a lot, and tune in next time.